I'm sure, you know, a lot of guys are trying to get work. You guys are trying to stay busy as much as you can, or shutting it down, like and everything in between. I'm seeing it. You're seeing it. We're all seeing it. It's a thing. But hey, let's blow that off for like an hour, hour and a half, and not worry about it at all. I'll touch on it a little bit here in just that I'm very impressed with the amazing staff that we have, how quickly we were able to virtualize our entire office, except for Fill My Schedule. If you haven't heard, Fill My Schedule is shut down because we can't send people in there to print. It's not an essential service. So for the time being, Fill My Schedule will be turned off. But for the rest of us, in less than, we were ahead of the curve too before Ensley shut us down here in Washington State. We were able to get everybody out of the office and start working from home. We'd already done that a little bit, and it's been good. I've seen an increase in productivity in a lot of areas and communication. So that's good for us, which it's nice. Obviously, we're a little shielded, but we're going to be able to support you here. So that's great. I did not put Worldwide Pandemic on the schedule when we designed 6.5's sprint. So forgive us for being late. It should have been out already. We did a 20-minute stint at 1:30, and it didn't go great. It didn't completely fall apart. Some of our customers did have business continuity issues. We're really sensitive to those. And so ultimately we rolled back, but we collected a lot of good data. We know what's wrong. We're going to focus on that over the next couple of days and get it all cleaned up. So apologize for that. I wish you could go log in right now and play with 6.5. And for the 10 people that are prospects here, because I think the vast majority of you guys are clients. If you go, if you haven't done it yet, do the trial request, you're going to get 6.4. So I want to make that really clear. So 6.5 will be out and it'll just magically be there for you. So if you sign up for the trial tonight, you can play around. It's not, you know, ServiceMonster 6.4 is amazing. So go play with that. And then probably Monday or Tuesday, you'll log in and it'll be 6.5. So I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that and our delay in the project there. And I probably pushed a little hard to get this out before the webinar. So I won't say my bad. I got green lights from all the key players. There's just a few little things that we missed. But we should be sorted now and all good. And that's probably enough time for us to waste. And we want to start diving into all the goodies that we have now. Okay, so just another clear check. If you can type in A's for me as a matter of indication, you can hear me just fine, you can see me just fine, and you can see the ServiceMonster login screen just fine. Is all of that true? Don't blame me, Adam. Let's go. How compatible is 6.4 with 6.5? Very good. Everybody can see in here. It's the same product. We just played around with the styling and then introduced a handful of new features. So if you ever see us go a major jump, like from 5 to 6, if you've lived through that, that's a new platform. We do new platforms when we do major releases typically, although it always hasn't been true in the past. So without further ado, you guys kind of want to see what we've been talking about here? Oh, wait, sorry, one more. I want to do a poll because this is going to change how I do this. So I'm going to build this poll real quick. Current client. Are you a, forgive me because I can't really type. Okay, yes, no, start polling. Are you sure we want to post this poll? Yes. All right, so if you guys can run that poll, that would be great. Pop it in there. Hey, one prospect, 2. Holy cats. Wow, you guys. Okay, some of you fake and I know it. Some of you clicking yes who aren't clients, probably competitors. That's okay, I see ya. Hi. Welcome to the show. All right, 222 to 5. So guess what? I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the basics of ServiceMonster. So let's just, let's see, what did David give me here? Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, ServiceMonster 6.5. I will bounce out of this mode so you can see more realistic view. This is the home screen, and we can go through each feature, but as a overall, what we attempted to do here was based off what we learned from the last 7 months that we've had trial. Many of you onboarded through our demo process, which was go to the website, fill out something, go see a sample database, but not your information. It leaves you with a little bit of thirst, so hopefully we can connect with you on the phone. Our sales guy does a walkthrough one-on-one. You buy, and then we go through training and support. And when we went to the trial, what we learned was unassisted sales were really tough. Now, we're closing way more than the average. Web traffic is somewhere around 13% close rate based off a trial request for average SaaS, and we're doing 22%. So I'm very happy with that, but I know we have a lot more room. There's a lot more that people can do when they come in that'll make it really a lot easier. And what that translates to our clients is employees, we should have just made the product a lot easier to approach. New employees should be able to approach it very easily. And you guys shouldn't feel overwhelmed, because I think we took a lot of the kind of PhD complexity away in a handful of major areas. We added a bunch of new dashboards that are very important that I've been waiting a long time to be able to give you, that are like core and critical to your company. We cleaned up the way that you navigate, and we introduced an in-app learning system. So as we introduce new features into the product, not only will you be in the know, but you will be able to go through those training processes easily too. So let's take a look at a couple things. So first of all, you've got the what's new. Obviously, if you're a ServiceMonster 5 user, this is nothing new to you. That one wasn't great in its overall style and design. We never really paid too much attention to it, but we did use it as a method to communicate to you. And when we did that, you guys were 6 times more likely to engage than email or Facebook ads. So that was great. And what we then did is I made this genius idea about this news feed. And I know some of you guys really like the news feed, but it didn't do what I wanted it to do, which was basically, engage you with your business data, and then we could sprinkle in some ServiceMonster content along the way. What I should have done was just a what's better, a better what's new. And that's what we've done here. So you get 3 cycles. Michael has complete control over it. He's going to keep you up to date with things that are going on in releases and webinars and all that kind of stuff in your little what's new section here. So that's new. This company summary is a little tighter. You can see month to date, 30 days, and 90 days for your revenue, orders, clients, and leads. So it's kind of like an upside down funnel, right? Leads come in, turn into clients, turn into orders, turn into revenue. And then it's just a plus or minus what percentage of what it was last year. So green is good, red are areas of improvement. But this is very much, I built this off of the one that I obsess over for ServiceMonster for the last 5 years. I had built some dashboard statistics for myself, and I've got a little compact view of mobile that gives me. And what I ended up with is this: month to date, 30 day, and 90 day, under or over from year before, through a couple KPI key metrics. And it was really, it really is an eye opener. It keeps me looking ahead. So if I see things happening in the month to day, how quickly is that going to spill over to 30? And then do I want to accelerate it or stomp it before it gets too deep into the 90? So good little dashboard there to keep your eye on. Today's appointments, you guys familiar with that. In progress, it's a little cleaner. You've got 3 dashboards here on the home section now: sales by month, repeat rate for both your residential and commercial based off 24-month performance, and then your top campaigns over the last 90 days. So you can kind of see what's bringing in your work. Again, very similar to some of the key KPIs that we had on the ServiceMonster 5 home screen. And then this guy, I want to talk about this for a minute. So this is our in-app training dashboard for the home screen. It's going to give you the course it thinks that you want to see. So we get this dialed in right. What should be for most of our clients is a course for 6.5. and it will have 5 lessons in it that you can go through. So if I were to click on this one, you see it kind of dims the screen. I don't know, can you guys hear me on top of me? I don't know if you can hear that, but I'll shut it off. Pause it. How about that? I'll open it up and pause it. So you can see it's going to point to things. It's going to give you a verbal, quick. We're doing these in 90 seconds to maybe a minute and a half. Points to very specific topic. It'll navigate and it'll show you what's going on. So it's great because it's a new way for you to teach your employees. And once we get this dialed in, those areas that you always struggled with because you really didn't know, but you didn't want to sit through a webinar here and you had some time at night, you can go through those classes. So we also have, and you'll see the library will grow very significantly over time. So search is kind of irrelevant right now, but here's the courses that we're going to launch with the 6.5 release, the lessons. In this is all lessons, right? So this is the entire library. This is your training courses. So we've broke them up into 5 lessons. So you've got a welcome. This would be for new people coming in, getting started. So, people just want to create the order, but then once they get the flavor and I kind of like this, they want to do, start getting things set up. And then this is the one you guys will care about, the ServiceMonster 6.5 release. It has the in-app training, 6.5 visual updates, section dashboards, marketing wizard, and grids. Now I'm going to talk about those and more. So you probably won't have to go through them, but as you experience the product more and as we do more releases, we'll be able to put those lessons in for you guys prior to the release. And then when it comes out, you'll be able to take the lessons and get all the new goodies. Because I think, the second most common complaint we get here at ServiceMonster is, I don't use it enough. I know there's more horsepower I can get out of it, but it takes some time. So one thing on one end we did is simplify things, which I'll show you, but we also wanted to make sure that you guys could get your own training real easily. This is also tied into our new online help, which is kind of a blog type of a setup, traditional online help, and we're redoing all of that. We just hired, even in this craziness, we just hired a new onboarding content creator, Mary. You guys will start seeing her face pop up, and we're going to really work hard to get this completely flushed out for you guys. So especially on that new stuff coming in, inventory control, equipment tracking, some of the more complex marketing stuff. So good stuff. And then you've got this releases here. You can actually go to the release tab and see, oh, here's a 6.5 release. Here's the lessons related to it, and so on. So this will keep a historical record of all the lessons for the releases that we've created. Pop back home here. And then before I move on, we'll give a round of applause to Adam and Skylar and Michael, who are manning the keyboard, bass, and drums. So they're going to be the ones answering your question. I'm pretty much going to monologue. It'll take an act to get me off course, but I will be available for questions, and we can sit here all night. I'm home. Why wouldn't I? So let's move forward. Okay. In progress leads. Where do I want to go next? Let's do the dashboards themselves, because I think that's a pretty major shift. Actually, I lied. Before I do that, let's talk about this navigation menu. So we didn't produce best practices when we built the menu system in ServiceMonster 6 because there was no best practices. And in the 4 years since that's been out, we have seen a lot of improvement into these side menus. And so we went through a lot and figured out the 2 best usability cases and put them both in. So this one's super simple, right? It's expanded. So you can click on this and get all your submenus, and it'll collapse the one before it. You'll also see we've cleaned these submenus up. So we used to have a lot of links to the same places. It made it feel like ServiceMonster maybe was bigger than it was. And so now what we've done is we've only put in key submenus in those sections, so they're not completely over bloated. So this is the collapse single, right? Or not the collapse, but the text-driven single column. Now I can squish it down and get these icons. And then what happens is when I hover over it, I get the submenu. So I don't even have to click to go to the main schedule, right? So if I just jump into here, I can get to anywhere without clicking. And it makes it real easy to kind of see what my options are for each one of these guys. So I won't spend too much time on this menu stuff. Let's expand it out because I want you guys to see the text here. And we'll jump into the leads to talk about the leads dashboard now. So we've added 3 new dashboards to every section. And they're, of course, pertinent to the section. Here we have leads by month. This account that we scrambled doesn't have any leads, but that's going to give you a breakdown of how many leads you're acquiring per month. This is great, especially if you're using things like Web API, the web form, you're hooked up to Zapier, which you can do all of that. So you can hook up to Facebook. Like if you don't know about the pipeline of lead integrations that we have, then that's something that you're going to want to kind of dial into, capturing those leads, especially right now, since you can work on your business and do this kind of desktop stuff, getting your website dialed in, getting your marketing funnels dialed in, like how data flows, that would really benefit you guys right now to use this horsepower to do whiteboard stuff and desk stuff, right? Lead conversions in the last 90 days. So even if you're not converting leads to accounts and then to invoices, if you're simply creating an account and then creating an invoice, it'll count it because that's a lead you've converted, even if it didn't go through the lead system. So it'll show you your general close rate. You can see here, this particular company is really down in this particular last 90 days, but who isn't? Long storm. And then new clients by lead source. So this is new clients. Where are they coming from? Where the top campaigns on the homepage are overall performers. This is focused on what's bringing you brand new clients. And if we go to accounts, we can see we've got 3 more dashboards related to accounts. Active accounts, both residential and commercial, and if you're over and under from the year before. And then your repeat rate, residential and commercial, again, based off 24 months, how we've always calculated it. And then we've got a recurring revenue. I really like this new dashboard. This is cool. The recurring revenue takes your contracts, which if you guys don't know about, ServiceMonster allows you to set up reoccurring payments and reoccurring jobs with your clients, whether residential or commercial. So if you're familiar with John Don Stay Beautiful program, Ed York kind of had a thing a long time ago. If you're selling and basically getting monthly pay for annual services, or maybe you've got a program where you go out every 6 months, this is going to calculate that. Recurring revenue is very important to the overall valuation of your company. If you're thinking about growing it and then selling it, having things that are already on the books in terms of contracts and recurring commercial work is very, very valuable. And so we've taken both of those, recurring appointments and your contracts. We've estimated the monthly value. This is an estimate, right? So you've got, let's say you've got, Adam's kicking me here. Adam, you doing okay? Should I stop? Recurrence revenue, woohoo. All right, I'm gonna pause for a second here because I think the team is blowing up. Adam, we good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, sorry. False alarm. Yeah, so recurring revenue. So it takes it's an estimate now, keep in mind. So let's say you have a commercial client you do work for every 4 months. We'll take 4 months worth of work, we'll add them together, we'll divide it by 12. And so you're going to be pennies off here and there, but that's why we call it an estimate. But that number is really important. This number is the most important number to the ServiceMonster business because we're all about recurring revenue, right? That's how we grow our entire company. So I would encourage you guys to focus on this and the business background processes needed to support it, because that's the hard part. Boomers wouldn't buy it 10 years ago. Millennials are buying it. You can sell this. The question is, how do you manage and maintain it? And we've got the tools that will let you do that already in 6.4. So if you're not utilizing those, you don't know about those, then go get educated and maybe we'll create some lessons for you here in a month or two. Okay, orders. You've got a new progress thing here. We've got this new one, unscheduled approved orders. And so this is our new online approval process. So not only can you send your client a link to pay an invoice, which is awesome, especially now, you don't have to go touch them. Social distancing. But now you can send them an approval. So a lot of our clients now are rolling by the house, and maybe if they're exterior cleaners, right, and they'll do the estimate there, or they'll even do it through Google and then send the estimate via email to the client and let the client approve it. So if you haven't scheduled that yet, but the client has approved it, it'll show up in this bucket, and it'll allow you to attack that real quick and then, figure out the schedule and get them on there. Okay, and then average invoice, 90 days with an over under. Again, real quick, real important KPI. You want to be raising prices. You want your prices going up year to year. So your average invoices should be steadily climbing up, all things being equal. And then income by product and service over the last 90 days. Again, another ServiceMonster 5 throwback, little pie chart that breaks down which services your clients are buying. So all this really quickly available to you. Okay, I'm going to skip scheduling because it's my favorite one. So we'll end on that one. But let's do marketing next. I just realized that a lot of times during these webinars, you guys have already been playing with it for a couple of days. And in this case, for those of you paying attention, you saw it for like 20 minutes. This is new to a lot of you guys. So this is exciting for me. Okay, marketing, we get new accounts by month. So bringing new accounts, how many per month? This is a great way to help visualize your company. And yeah, the slowdown is a real deal. December, February, January, February. Repeat customers by lead source. So, hey, this is the repeat customers, focused on that. So where are you keeping your clients coming back to you? Is it the Fill My Schedule card? Are you doing a newsletter? Do you have an email program that's working really well for you? What's bringing them back? And then we've got top campaigns over the last 90 days. So this is going to basically sort based off responses. So if one pops, like a little while ago, we had Instagram go really high on us. So it was just like all in on Instagram. But if you're not paying attention to the numbers, you could miss the wave because they don't always last for more than a month or two. So if you're paying attention to that and you've got some slush funds in your marketing budget, which you should be building your marketing budgets so that you have, what we do is 50-50. So we dedicate 50% to the specific channels we want to put those dollars in. And then we are able to take 50% of the revenue allocated for each one of those buckets. And that way we can move it. If I suddenly want to reduce one of the campaigns by 50% and move that cash to, a strong Facebook ad that's performing well, Michael has the flexibility to do that for us. So good stuff. So if you're paying attention to your numbers in this way, then you can make those quick decisions, move that cash around, and take advantage when the iron is hot. Fill my schedule, same old. Okay, so schedule. Now it's schedule. Okay. I'm not going to have enough data for margin. I might have to log into a different company for that one. I'll do that here in a minute. Let's talk about this appointment bookings though, because I think this is my favorite one. And this came from a conversation, little shout out to the Conquer group. It's a coaching group that Brandon and I have known each other for a while. We just kind of joined forces. We're in his little camp there. And when he was talking to me about what they do, how they coach large numbers of service providers and help them focus on those processes in the business that will ultimately end up making money, he was really big on this concept of appointment booking. So we talked about it and I built this based off that. So what you're looking at here is, I can see February, I've got this progress bar, right? I booked, for this company, they booked $57,000 worth of work. But if we take your data and we crunch it up a little bit, we can, through a little algorithm, determine what you're making per hour when you're working and what that looks like if you were 100% booked. So that's the bar. So you'll never achieve 100% booking, right? Based off of that particular plan, but it's still apples to apples. So it gives you a really good indication of, am I 50% booked? Am I 60% booked? How am I doing compared to this month or last month? The red obviously is unavailable. It not only is it not been booked, but it's unavailable. It's already been passed, right? It's in history. You can't go back and book a new job in February. The reality is though, if you put it on there, then more blue will show up and red will go down a little bit. But let's look at your current month here in March. We can see it's 28.14% booked. They booked 40,000 in revenue. Okay. And in this particular database, because 6.5 wasn't consuming the orders, the AI wasn't picking up and doing those calculations. So keep in mind, it'll take a minute to dial this in. as you're entering data, it's being warehoused and then crunched, and then made available for these algorithms. So it's one of those things where as you put in more data, the numbers will get better and better and more precise. But the booking percentage is really just based off time. So that makes that accurate. But you can see here, there's like no red for whatever reason. It's totally booked up. And then all the white is what's available. And then in April, which is in the future, of course, next month, you got the same thing. So you can see how you're booking ahead of time and what percentages you have. Right now, there's only $500 in the book there. Let's log out so we can take a look at margin. And we will scheduling. So again, no data here really, but you can get the idea. So we're calculating your margins, which this is probably the most important new dashboard from the point of view of your business, because a lot of you guys are not really watching your margins, and we're going to calculate this out for you, but it comes at a cost. There's a couple of things you have to do. So the first thing here is if you hover over, it'll show you your breakdown. And it's obviously 100% margin because we have no COGS, no cost of goods sold. So it will break down your labor costs, your consumables, and your depreciation. So if you have equipment tracking on the enterprise version, which I don't think is out yet, even with 6.5, it's almost out. It was almost out before 6.5, but we took resources and diverted. So we're just going to get that cleaned up. If you put like a piece of equipment in there and give it a date and how much you paid for it, it will calculate for you on a 3-year scale how much that is costing you per job. And again, this is going to be dialing it in better and better as you put more data in. So as you do more orders under the newer system, it's going to start figuring that out and dial that in. It'll do your labor costs too, not to be misrepresented, but you can go in. We're not doing payroll. Don't get excited. I know there's companies that claim they do payroll and it's really not payroll. It's just hours times wage. Like that's not payroll. So we don't want to make that claim. But what we can do here is put in your estimated hour rate per hour. So if you know that, Jimmy the technician is typically you're paying him $30 an hour when he's in the field, 18, 20, $22 an hour when he's in the field, you put that here and that'll calculate into your job's labor costs. So really simple. But very important when you're actually trying, because most of your cost is going to come out of that labor cost. Then you also have consumables. So in our inventory control system, you know about that, right? The inventory control system allows you to track your inventory as you use it. So you put in a bucket of juice. You say, hey, this is a gallon. And if you're a carpet cleaner, you can say something like, I use 1 gallon of this for every 400 square feet I do. And it will then, as you complete orders, automatically deduct your inventory, notify you when your items need reordering, automatically create a purchase order for you, and you can manage all that quantity on hand. As you're doing that, as it's going through that, it's also calculating the costs that you're using. So based off the price per gallon, it knows that every 400 square feet, it's going to be an additional X number of dollars. So from here, with your labor, your consumables, and your depreciation, we're able to calculate your true cost of goods sold. And then with that, applied against your revenue, we can give you your margins. And so you'll be able to see, where is your money coming from? Is your commercial margins just way better, even though your square footage is a little less? Like, how does that all play out? So again, though, there is a cost. You'll have to use those items. I would say in order of importance, labor is going to be first. Consumables probably next, unless you don't use very many consumables or you're using client stuff, like maid services will sometimes use the client's preferred stuff. And then depreciation. So if you don't have big truck mounts and trucks and stuff like that, then that's not going to be that big of a deal for you. And then the margin here, appointment by type. This is just breaking down how much reworks, how much drop-offs, how much pickups, how much actual works or estimating you're doing in the home, or whatever custom job types you have put on the system. Okay, scheduling, marketing. All right, so that's the dashboards. Those are the new sections. So you've gotten a nice view of the menu here, and then the overall look and feel of those new dashboards in the section. I guess while we're kind of talking about visual stuff, let's talk about the header. This has been cleaned up. kind of looked circusy before. And I mean, I'm sure you guys know. If I go, you can tell, you know, orange and green and white. It's fine. It's fine. But ooh, now look at this. Ooh, I mean, ooh. It's just so good. I think Michael had a lot to do with the retheming, even the cleaning up of our classic theme here. And so that's the next thing I want to show you guys is the theming. So we're going to introduce more themes as we go, but here you can see we've got 3 themes to choose from. So if I go with that light now, hey, look at that. It looks very much like ServiceMonster 5. So now combined with the new old home screen and the new old dashboards and the new old theme, we pretty much recreated ServiceMonster 5, but supercharged it. That was kind of fun. So you can do that. And then if you're working at night and you want to save yourself on the eyes, of course, we've got the dark theme. So you can use that as well. And, you know, we're dialing this in as it goes. I think that there's some fight over some styling in a couple little areas, especially when it comes to dark theming. But especially with your guys' feedback, once you will get it and get to start playing with it, that'll be fun to kind of see where we're going. And I don't know, Robert Atlas, are you here? Is he here? Robert? I don't know. Robert Atlas. So I promised him like 4 years ago a theme based off of his Corvette, which is red and black. So I was kind of excited about that one now that we've put a theming system in place. We actually designed it a long time ago and we just were letting it sit in the background, but we had to do a lot of work to massage it to make it ready to go. So yeah, so start playing with those, guys. It's really cool. The other thing, just for sake of the webinar, I'm going to go back to Classic. The other thing that's neat is the view selector. So you're like, okay, Joe, that's fine. I get the what's new is a better what's new, and you didn't need to do the live company newsfeed, but I like it. Give it back to me. So what we've done is we have a view selector here. So if you click this button, if this button exists, it means this page has multiple views. And I don't mean like the grid view or a management view. I mean like the page itself is just structured differently. And certain people might like certain ones better. So if that's available, then you can click it and see. So I can click here and see what was the first version of ServiceMonster we kicked out for 6.0. And this was the first home screen. And then version 1.1, which introduced the global newsfeed, which you guys are familiar with. And then we also, threw in the lesson planner in there for you. Sorry, a lesson planner up here. And then version 2 for the new home screen. So you can play with that and it'll stay however you'd like. And if you guys remember the make this section my homepage, yeah, we did away with that. That was confusing some people and they didn't know how to get back to other areas when they made that area the default. So instead of that, we've just gotten really quick links, right? So now if you want to bounce around, you can do with one click here, and especially on that collapse view with the hover menus, makes it real easy. But this will actually set your page however you'd like. For instance, if we bounce to scheduling, that nasty button we had at the top, go back to the old schedule or try the new schedule. That was on there for entirely too long while we were working on 6.5. But now you've got the view selector and you can go back to the old schedule if you'd like, right? So I don't know why. Is anyone using this anymore? Can somebody do some hand clapping if you use the 1.0 version of the schedule? And if so, then we need to jot you down and have a conversation because I don't know why you wouldn't be using this new hotness. Okay. So we got themes, we got dashboards, we got the grids. Okay, let's do, where do we want to go from here? No. I don't know what no means, guys. What do you mean? No. 1.0 or 2.0, the 5.0 or 6.0. I don't know. Forget about it. Okay, let us take a look at the new marketing wizard. Okay, so Annette comes to me a couple months ago. Trials coming in. Skylar's having conversations with the people. Nice. ServiceMonster 6. Keep in mind, this is ServiceMonster 6. Adam, you probably should have put in the ServiceMonster 5 schedule too, but I'll do that later. So that'll be fun to see. Jimmy still thinks 5 is the best. Yeah, well, you know, look, the best CRM is the one you use, right? We've got grandmas who are helping with businesses who will not leave 5, and you know, I'm not killing it anytime soon, so no big deal. You're just not getting new upgrades. You're not getting new hotness. You're in Oldsville land. Okay. So one of the things that Annette came to me after trial said, you know, it's interesting. People are signing up with us in part, some of them, because they think our marketing is flipping amazing. And then they're quitting in 90 days because, man, that marketing's flipping amazing, but it's hard. Putting together marketing filters. If you have 5, you have the wizard. 6 didn't give you the wizard. It made you do the filters. And I know you guys, because I do it too, forget like do not contact. And if there's not a valid email address, and you know, those haven't been contacted by this campaign within the next period of time, so you don't spam them. And those aren't always easy to remember. So we created the ServiceMonster 6 marketing campaign wizard. So if you're used to 5, if you've played around with 5, this is just that, but better. So same thing, I can come in here and choose, and we're going to be adding more types. We've got 4 more that we're going to do. And this is going to be the next big marketing push after the 6.5 release kind of dust settles. I want to put in a Zap. So you should be able to not just send emails or do letters or generate phone calls or create an export list, but contact Zapier, send Zaps. Can you imagine? Like we send the whole company record, and you can do a fax or an email or a phone call or like a direct mail, whatever you want. So that's going to be hot. Fill my schedule. So if you wanted to do your own fill my schedule and just have us ship the cards, that will be available once we have custom fronts, which, you know, we keep saying are this much done, but with fill my schedule shut down, our priority to put custom fronts on fill my schedule isn't really high. And then we've got some other things planned out as well here. SMS obviously is one of them. Text isn't going to be too hard for us, but I want to make sure you're on your own pipeline for that. You will not be using mine to spam your clients via SMS. As long as you have your own pipeline, I'm happy. And then you can use that as well. So those will be coming. But let's deal with the here and now, shall we? Let's create an email campaign. So I can here build an audience with one of my filters. So if I choose basic, standard, or advanced, the advanced just takes me right in the campaign the way you guys are used to dealing with it now. And you're up to your own devices to create the filters and tackle your clients that way. The basic is going to give you this list of predefined filters that we've created for you. So from active customers to this typical 6, 9-month, and 12-month reminders, you can just click a button and it's going to give you a big cherry bomb. Here we go. I know you guys took care of this. So there we go. 9-month reminder, 2 accounts it pulled up, and I can click next and it'll do naming for me and everything. If I go back, and go back one more, I can go through the standard filters, and here I can say, hey, I want to limit my account type to a specific account type. I want to do not call, do not mail, don't include commercial accounts. And I go next, right? And so now I can find accounts who've never had an invoice or accounts with the last invoice date between a certain period of time. So very simple, but more flexible than this, because this is just what you see is what you get. In both of those cases, though, and I can show you, let's do like just a simple 9-month. We'll go next. Here I can either save or save and run. So if I click save and run, it will save it, take me to the campaign, and bring up the dialog. Let's just save it because I want to show you the filters. And here, it did the filters for you. So from that one click, it made sure that we were attacking active accounts, that they're never said, do not email me, that their email is not blank, that they've had a last invoice between 8 and 9 months, and that the next job reminder date is blank, so they have something scheduled in the future. So for all of you guys who struggled trying to put these filters together, this wizard is going to be a godsend for you. It's going to make it really easy to whip these campaigns up and not have to worry about it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Marketing. All right. What else do I want to tackle here? Theming. Done a lot. Let's see. This is inventory control. We've talked about that before from a previous release. Adam, do you got something for me?
Yeah, I should talk about the new order, the bulk add items.
Oh my God, I keep forgetting about it. It's flipping amazing. Good call. And my son actually built this, which is very cool for me. Well, father pride there. All right. All right, check this out, guys. So it's an interesting story. When we built 6, in 5, we have a quick add. It's a quick add just for line items. And I said, I don't need that. We're going to put that in. And David's one of the owners and engineer. His brother, Jamie, has been working for us in customer support and auditing for like 10 years, right? He's been with us forever. And he said, we're going to want that. And he never says anything. Like he never pops his head up and says, nah, I think you're wrong. But he was like, no, we're going to want that back in. And he was right. 100%. They wanted it back in. And we put it back in, and it was very much like 5, and it was just okay. And you guys liked it, and it was fine. When my son saw it, he was just like, yeah, that don't fly. I want to do something else. Okay, try it. So what we did, you guys know those self-checkout screens, right? That's kind of what we did. You come in here, I can search, I can just add stuff. I can edit the stuff right here. Boom. It does, like, whether it's text or not, adjust the amount, make the description, and then hit add line, and it's there. How cool is that? So very simple, very easy. And you know, another good reason why you want to use your favorites. Got a little visual glitch right there, Adam. You can see that guy. So, you know, I could talk about how cool it is all day long, but I mean, how much should I teach you? It's just super easy. Click reset. You know, I can add new product or services on the fly too. And of course we can do search. So if I wanted to look for carpet, there we go. We got a carpet gold, 45 cents. We're going to do 1,500 square feet. That'll be a nice size invoice. Boom. It just keeps adding. Yeah. Adam, what else you got? That was fun, but it was quick.
Well, while we're on the order page too, there's actually some more changes to this coming, which Ethan is also working on. But we made it easier for the drag and drop. So now you can reorder the line items on the left, which makes just kind of a lot more sense. And we had delete line and clear order both up at the top of the screen, which I've hated. And so we have the little trash can on each line to remove it there. And you have if you just want to restart, you can just clear the order up top. Boom.
Very cool. And yeah, here's another thing where I'm too smart for my own good. I thought it was a really cool design that, you know, you could click on this panel, and in the sidecar here, it would load out the account information. And that way you could edit some of your more basic common things without having to jump into the account. And then the same thing with a site. Ooh, site. Put site in there. You can have service items. It's all good. And then order details. And when something changes like this in the engineering world, we call it polymorphic. And that makes it really hard. A polymorphic design is usually discouraged. And I get lost in this dang thing sometimes. So we're moving to dialogues. So the sidecar will be straight up line item only. You click on the order details, it'll open an order details panel. You can work on there. Same thing with site and same thing with the account. So we'll make it a lot cleaner, a lot more apparent. You know, it's like, where am I? What's going on? And what do I have selected? And why does my sidecar not have what I expected? So some of those issues that your employees, frankly, or new users might have a little trouble with. Again, smoothing that out, making sure that it's really dead dumb simple. Oh, I know what I can show you. As a result of that, we have the ability now to add an account or an order on the fly and bypassing the quick add. So you can click on new account and, well, I say bypass. It's a simpler version of the quick add, so you don't have to think too much, but it still gives you your possible matches. It still allows you to do all that stuff. But again, new users and new employees, they don't need to be inundated if they just want to enter an account. You can't have a business card, right? And until they're really comfortable with the quick add, that's just super intimidating. And then orders, adding a new order, it'll actually take you to a brand new order screen. So you can do an estimate on the fly and then get that information. And I think we've had this since last release though, so that might not be too new to you guys. All right.
So
Yeah,
Large
go.
things that you can talk about, Joe. First is the job versus appointment.
Yes, that is another minor change. You see appointment up here. And this is another kind of an ego thing. When we started designing ServiceMonster in 2003, the easy thing to call it was a job. And man, for 17 years, we've been fighting with the perception of, no, job's different than what you think it is. Because you guys think job, it's like the whole thing, right? It includes the invoices and all the appointments, and it's the job. That's the job. And so we were saying, no, the job is the thing you schedule. Each job can have more than, each order can have more than one job. And we had this whole line of how we eased you into that nomenclature. And of course, you thinking us as the computer nerds, you're like, okay, yeah, no, I'll just accept that. The reality is that we named it wrong. We labeled it wrong. It's an appointment. It's an appointment. I hope that just clears everything up, because now we're finding through focus groups and whatnot that we don't have to explain it when we call it appointment. And now you can keep job to mean job, what it means in the field, what it means in your conversation, and not different than what it is inside ServiceMonster. So I think job versus appointment is a big deal. It may not seem like much because it's just a label change or whatever, but I think from a conceptualization point of view, I think it's massive. So, and again, another 6.5 is all about kicking the crap out of my ego, figuring out all the things that I did way wrong, or I thought I was way too smart. And so we went back to the mat and then cleaned up as much as we can. And now we're in a really good spot to really launch forward some of these incredible new features. Like I was talking about SMS. And we've got a whole host of stuff coming for you guys. I can't wait. But I don't want to talk about what's coming too much because you guys haven't even dealt with this yet. Things that I would be interested in hearing feedback from you as you go through it, especially is going to be around the training. Not necessarily the glitches. We know, when things aren't necessarily timed right and again, please feed back. I'm not saying don't feed us back. But what I'm looking for specifically is, do you think they will be effective and will you use them? Because, Stephanie built a couple hundred videos for y'all and they have more than basically less than a couple hundred views each. So that tells me nobody's watching those dang things, not at the scale look at 200 people showed up. How much attention did we manage to keep? More, 232 people are just sitting here listening to me yammer. Those training videos, nobody listened to those. So I'm really curious to see. We put them directly in the app. We make it pointable. It's the new onboarder, right? And you're going to see videos from myself, from Adam, and then eventually Michael and Mary as well. So there'll be individual kind of coaches within the product itself. So we're really excited about that, and I'm curious your feedback. All right. Well, I am open. Here we are, 10 minutes from scheduled close. Obviously, you know us, though. We'll roll. I am open to questions. We have questions on deck.
We do have a couple, Joe, but there's one big one that's easy to forget because we're just inundated with the grids all day. But
oh my gosh. It's
been the biggest.
It's only the biggest. Yeah, it's only been the biggest time. Yeah, Aaron spent almost the entire 6.5 release just focused on one thing, which is the grids. So we rebuilt all the grids. Let me show you. This was huge. I don't know how I forgot. I was just about to ready roll. So you can see the first thing is that they're super simple. When we're looking at some of our competitors and seeing how things feel when you first step into an app, or when that employee logs in and how they're going to use it, and we can put all the functions and features and horsepower on there we want. And the reality is very few people use that. I know Bruno uses it. Bruno gets a lot out of ServiceMonster's background tech. But I think for the most part, there's not a whole lot of people customizing their grids or doing column-based filtering. And if you are, then congratulations. We didn't take it away. I'll show you in a second. But for the most people, it just gets in the way. And so what we've done is we've really simplified the grid, and we've went through each one and created these and categorized these lists of predefined filters. We had some before, but we really went through it. And not only do we go through it, but we define special column loadouts for each one of them. Like this is the accounts past due. Obviously, you got a past due column. Might not make sense for an estimate, right? Because there's nothing past due yet. But we really took a long time to figure out which columns went in each view so that you get the most effective information and not are completely overloaded with it. And so we did that. Now, yes, you can modify it. So if you don't like what we chose, you can choose your own. And how you do that obviously is hamburger, advanced features, bang. And now you've got your grid filters back, okay? And you can do your column choices. So now you can go back and add your own columns. Now, here's the thing. It wasn't sticky in the way it should have been. Meaning if you went to the accounts grid and you modified it, 50-50 whether or not it stayed that way the next time you logged in. And it certainly didn't stay that way if you log into a different computer. The column loadout was specific to the grid. So whatever you chose in your view had the same loadout. So not great. Now that each view has its own grid column loadout, you're able to change it for each one of those views, and it'll be unique to that view. And it will stick not only on your computer, but across multiple computers for yourself as well. This is a user-based setting. So just know that it wasn't quite polished before, and now it definitely allows you to set that and remembers. And then, of course, yes, you can still add your own custom views here. And then here we are back again to these filters, right? So you can create these filters and create your own custom views, and those custom views will show up here. Like if I wanted to grab, see if this still works, all the Joes. So if I can take a look at the edit, I love this little button here. It says all account name contains Joe. So as long as the account name contains Joe, then I got the Joes. That's a little custom filter, but you see how it works. And then you can edit and add more from here. And we'll come back. You can restore your defaults and export just like before. Turn off the advanced options, but you can see we really wanted just to make it super simple so that when people are coming in and new employees and you guys are just not overwhelmed with information and data. So, and then the look too, it just ended up super clean. The links are very apparent. They got the little hover, they're blue. Go to one that has a little bit more linking, like the job list. Here I can go to open up the job itself. And, oh, look at that. All right, Adam, put that down. Account name and the order number should link here too as well. Yeah, just like this. So I have order number here and account name. So overwhelmed? It's not that much changes. I caught that, Christine. Okay. Okay, that's it. Okay, I'm done. And there's more. I mean, we put in a lot of bug fixes. You'll notice the little minor changes here and all too, but that pretty much covers it. Did I miss anything this time, Adam?
I think that's the bulk of it there.
Good. Okay, so now do we have questions on deck?
So I was actually just responding to one here. I think it might just be easier letting people listen. There's been a lot of questions throughout this about, is it still admin and manager only on SM6? And that is something that we are looking at improving in the near future as far as the security roles and the rules. And we know it's an issue.
Yeah, and that's rules and rules. It's second to can managers and agents log in? And we had Greg go through it. He's our primary QA guy. And so I think he kicked out a small handful of things. The list is not large at all, but it wasn't our focus for 6.5. Now, once 6.5 is out, give us a week to settle the dust and do those little nitpicky things that we might find when you guys are using it at scale. And then after that, we're going to probably have a series of fairly short releases, like 2-week sprints, cleaning up a lot of stuff that didn't get into here that you guys have been waiting for. So lots of communication and feedback on Smug, which is always awesome and appreciated. There's a handful of items that I would like us to just get cleaned up. And I think, I'm not making a promise, but I think in 1 or 2 sprints, we'd be able to at least get agents and some of the users that make more sense logging in and using the app, because our security modules are pretty tight and flexible. It's just a matter of finding all those little, the link here and then the cross section here and the adjunct T function. Like, it gets squirrely fast, but I think the list is small. So not on 6.5, it's coming. And then what Adam was alluding to is the custom rules and roles. So right now we use a role system where you say it's an admin, and then the systems define that. you will be able to create your own roles and select which rules they have. Where can they log in? What can they see? What can they access? Because we can't serve everybody. There's going to be always somebody that's unhappy with the system-based definition. So we want to get that out to you guys, and that'll be back on the table here now that 6.5 is rolling out.
So there's another question that came up a couple of times, referring back to the dashboard for the margins, asking about how commissions get tied into it versus hourly, if that's how they pay their technicians.
I'm pretty sure, Adam, write this down to make sure that this is right. I wrote the algorithm, by the way. And I'm pretty sure that I took commissions into account, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I connected all the dots. So let's get Greg to test that and make sure that's in before we roll out 6.5. So the answer is when 6.5 releases, commissions will be in those labor costs as well. They're just rolled up into them.
Perfect. They also asked, as far as using the mobile app versus the scheduled time, how does that affect the allotted time to multiply by the rate? So if you're scheduled 2 hours, which of those has priority, so to speak? Is it the check-in and check-out, or is it just the scheduled block of time?
Yeah, so I take and again, because I'm saying it here and now, Adam, I want to make sure we wrap back around and make sure these are correct, because I built these pretty fast and late at night, and they're very complex. But the intention was this, that the actual start and end date is what's used. And the way that the system does check-in and check-out is it will update the actual start date and end time accordingly. So the first technician to do the first check-in, that will set the actual start date of the job. And then the final clock out will set the end date of or end time of the job. And that's what I'm using to calculate dollars per hour. So it's the actual.
We've had a couple of questions to trickle in about Fill My Schedule. And since now that everyone's in here, do you want to maybe make that announcement again?
Yeah, I'll say it again. Fill My Schedule has been shut down temporarily here in Washington State. We have a, don't go out order. ServiceMonster's Fill My Schedule service is not an essential service, unfortunately, which is, that's a big revenue generator for us. So from a business owner point of view, it's rough, but that's the reality. And when we are able to return to work, we'll turn that program back on. But right now, no cards are shipping. If you were approved, you had orders approved over the weekend, all your stuff got shipped. And I think they straggled in a handful of orders. So if you're unclear, you can go to your order history in either 5 or 6 and see what it is. We've any orders that were not charged, that were created, we actually just dismissed them all. So you won't see anything pending now. Now we are going to be working on when that comes back. By the time it comes, because raise your hand if you believe this is a 2-week thing. I don't think any of us are really in that place. I think we're going to be here for a minute. So as a result of that, we should have some time after 6.5 to finish those custom fronts, so that when we bring Fill My Schedule back online, you'll have custom fronts. And I'm hoping that we can, probably not by then, but fairly soon, have that in the drip campaigns as well. So you can throw Fill My Schedule at your drips, and you can design, you can design your own system. You don't have to use the Fill My Schedule canned stuff at that point, which would be really neat.
Okay, another big thing that came up a lot, I tried to answer it as much as I could. I know that Skylar did too. There were a lot of questions just about the mobile app in general. So just kind of reiterate that this release is desktop oriented.
Yep. Yeah, and then mobile shouldn't change at all in this point of view. And again, just so that everybody's on the same page, technically there are 4 mobile products under the ServiceMonster umbrella. There's only one that we consider current, although I'll get flack from you guys about what I'm about to say a little bit. Mobile 3 is discontinued. You probably shouldn't be using it. We do not support it, and it might blow up in a future release, and I don't know how we're going to be able to fix that. We can't maintain that product for a various set of reasons I won't go into, but it's just not supported. Your best bet is Mobile Pro. That is a great product. I think we finally got it right. There might be one or two things you had in Mobile 3, although I can't think of them really, that we don't have in Pro, but nobody who's coming on board just using Pro is missing any of them. They're loving that experience, so that's good. Mobile 2.0, you guys are still going to be using for your tablets most likely. That's the web-based version of our mobile product. Tablets are going to be coming with Mobile Pro, but we had to consolidate it. First, we had to get it right. Right, we all agree Mobile 3 wasn't right. We didn't build that right. We were learning how to build mobile products, and it took us a while to kind of get our bearings. We made some mistakes, and we fixed that with Technician, which was kind of our prototype for the new platform and patterns that I had created. Great success for Technician. I know a lot of you guys are still using that. There might be a couple little minor points, but for the most part, Mobile Pro, if you log in and you are a tech, you will get Technician. It's been brought to my attention, though, there's like a couple little things like labels or maybe a button here or there that isn't the same. We're going to be working on making sure that has parity. So the idea where we want to end up is only having one mobile product, Mobile Pro, which has an amazing tablet view, reverts to Technician when technicians log in, and is a great phone-based app so that single owner operators, salespeople, and just workers can log in and do what they need to do. Last release, which wasn't too long ago, and we didn't make we very rarely make a big deal about our releases. So when you see us making a big deal, it's because we're throwing a lot at you. But the previous 6.4 release introduced laborer. So if you have not technicians, but people who just go and do work and then leave, they're not collecting checks, they're not upselling, they're just doing the work, and you don't want them to see the totals on those orders, laborer is the role that you're going to want. And then Technician, essentially, or mobile, becomes this amazing technician view or laborer view that allows them to go to the site, maybe contact the client if they need to, get the address information, get everything that they need to do, be able to take some notes, and then they're out. So I would encourage you to take a look at that. But that's where we want to end up, where Mobile Pro is the mobile solution. It's one product to rule them all. But for tablets, Mobile 2 is probably going to be your best bet. Throw away Mobile 3, and if you're unwilling to do that, we need to know why. Send support an email and lay out why you think you want to keep Mobile 3. And if we're missing stuff in Technician, that would be helpful as well. You can send us some info. And here's why my techs won't switch to Pro, because ABC, and then we'd be happy to tackle those as well for you. I'm going to touch my face. I'm going to touch my face.
The only thing I want to tack on to there is Mobile Pro was kind of an internal name that we had just to kind of differentiate, because like you said, we have 4. It's just the ServiceMonster mobile app. It's the SM, it's blue and white in the App Store. If you see the monster, it's the old one. If you see the football field, I know it's actually a clipboard, but I always view it as a football field. That's the Technician app. You're looking for the blue and white SM.
Thank you for that clarification. I was doing inside baseball stuff. So yeah, just ServiceMonster mobile. That's what we want to end up with.
One thing I just kind of want to take a second to note is I have been frantically writing down, some of these feature requests and stuff. We really do appreciate when you guys offer this feedback. Even if sometimes, someone doesn't reply or so on, I'm going to be going through this chat log. So if any of you guys said anything, bad about me, cough, Jason, cough, I'll have proof there. But I'm going to be perusing through this. And so anything, if we didn't answer or so on, I'll still be keeping track of all this as far as where to be prioritizing and things like that. So,
yeah, very good. Let's see. ETA on 6.5. So that was supposed to be at the beginning of the week. But I did not plan for a worldwide pandemic and getting all of our employees virtualized. So that put a pressure on the schedule that we didn't intend, and we had the webinar, so we tried really hard to get it out today. That didn't go too great. We typically won't push on Friday, especially big releases. I don't want to have a nasty surprise over the weekend and not have all hands on deck for you guys. We definitely don't push Monday mornings, and we rarely push during business hours, although sometimes we do. And if we do, it's for a very good reason. We're not a bunch of idiots who don't know what we're doing. It's because we thought long and hard about it and decided that, even if there was a little bit of backlash, it's still the best way to go. We rolled back for today's release. Obviously, we collected a lot of good data. It shouldn't take us more than a day or two to get it all buttoned up, ready to go. I'm hoping Monday night, but I just might say Tuesday night, just to give the dev team just that little extra breathing room after what we went through today. And Ethan's exclusive. He's the only one on the mobile team right now. And obviously I can't hire a new dev under the current environment, not easily. So, although afterwards, hey, just here's a business thought for you guys. How many people we still got? 200. Okay, very good. Here's some business advice I just thought of a little bit ago. In the aftermath of all this, there's going to be some interesting talent laying around. Obviously, not necessarily for your technicians, but for your operations or maybe 4 trucks or more, you might be able to find like a rock star marketer or, a manager that just had enough of corporate. So this might create some interesting opportunities if if you can weather the storm and keep a positive mindset. Use this as an agent for change, positive change in your business. That's what we're doing here at ServiceMonster as much as possible. So 6.5, yeah. So let's call it Tuesday night. I might surprise you and we go Monday night if we're feeling really good, but probably not. Adam, would you agree there? I don't want to step out of turn here. Now, Adam has been promoted, you guys. He was your onboarder before. Now he is our product manager. So this was not his fault.
I definitely appreciate that, Joe. Yeah, so I'm super excited to kind of be taking the reins there. The whole dev team's been working really hard, guys. Anytime something goes wrong, I hope all of you guys know it's not anything personal for any of you. Like, everyone wants this to be as smooth as possible for all of you. We really do care about you guys and how this rolls out. So there's also been a lot of chat going on here about Pinky. If you want to maybe just throw something out there for the team.
Because everybody loves Pinky, and she was with us for 7 years. But right before Corona, she gave her notice. She was going to go build a team in the Honda dealership. She was really excited about that. So she took the skill set that she acquired here, and she's off to go play in other pastures. So she will be missed, but she made a lot of friends, both in the client community and at work, obviously. And I'm sure they'll be in touch. So, but yes, you will no longer get Pinky on the phone when you call up and mana.
We still have an amazing support team, though, guys. So everyone's dedicated to helping you.
For sure. Yeah, and pretty much anyone in the company can jump on the phones and be support. I mean, yeah, amazing people. Okay. Lori, thank you so much. Appreciated. She was giving us kudos. How about the app changes for technician? How do I integrate my point of sale device with ServiceMonster? Device, that's interesting. So I'm imagining, I guess, like a retail store. You've got a cash register, or what? Square is it maybe example of I don't know what you're talking about, but there is ways to do it. ServiceMonster has an amazing web API that allows you, a dev basically, to connect and pump data in and out of ServiceMonster of your database directly. So that's the geeky answer. You can also push out of and pull out of Zapier, which it requires less geekdom, but not a lot less geekdom. Fair amount of less geekdom, but you still need to be fairly geeky in order to use Zapier fairly well. But there are ways to integrate them. Those are the two. So find a smart geek and either teach them or pay them or do whatever and point them to the ServiceMonster web API or get a Zapier invitation. I will say that real quick. ServiceMonster is not public in Zapier yet. They changed the red tape like a week before we went live, and now it's massive. The hoops that we have to jump through. It was just not a time sink I wanted to spend on. We are there. You can't find us if you search, though. You'll need an invite. So email support if you want an invite into Zapier so that you can play with that and see how all that works. I mean, hell, you use it just to get an email when, something happens. Like there's a lot of really powerful uses with that, and you can get kind of crazy. Combing through these here. Any plans to add equipment tracking? Yes, Chad, we already have equipment tracking in up and coming release. That's not in here, is it, Adam?
No, it's hidden.
Okay, we hit it. It's just going through QA, and what you can, and that's why we have the depreciation. So you're going to be able to put in. We wanted to serve two questions. Number one, do I have everything I need? And so like inventory control, you will be able to attach equipment to products and services that you perform so that your route packet, when you print that out or you have that on your phone, you can see what equipment you're going to need for that day for all the jobs that you've got scheduled to do. Super cool. And then also the other question we wanted to solve is, where's my shit? So restoration companies and people leaving dehues and air movers behind, or you want your techs to check in and out equipment out of the van because they're, you're not gonna do it with hammers, right? But you might do it with a RX-20, a big roto. You throw a label on it that you can scan and you can check them in and out of the truck. And that way, if someone didn't load it back into the truck because they forgot about it, you'll have GPS, you'll know where it is, you'll know what last job they were on. So those are the two questions that we wanted to solve. Like, what do I need and where's my stuff? And then it does a lot of little extra stuff like depreciation. You can track when you bought it, how much it costs, what vendor you got it from. So that way, if you need to reorder something that's kind of obscure but is part of your equipment, you can figure out where it came from. So yeah, our equipment tracking is already there. They'll be there probably just in the next month or two. Let's see, Renee, I'm still stuck on why you guys cannot do Fill My Schedule right now. Because support, IT, and such are essential to the federal list. It's not what we're hearing from our people. So believe me, it's a huge expense. And on our staff meeting on Tuesday, our COO, the other owner, so there's 3 working owners, 2 non-working owners, me, myself, Eric, and then David are the working owners. So Eric is my right-hand man. He's my pessimistic accountant. He's my COO. And on our staff meeting on Tuesday, he said, yeah, we may be considered okay for a number of reasons. And then when we talked to our people, our lawyers, and they were like, nope, we're not on the list. So believe me, I wanted that as well. And I am actually surprised by business support and IT. I mean, we might be able to do that, but that would be the ServiceMonster side. And only if there was no other choice. We're already virtualized. Like all our entire office is working from home. This webinar is being 100% conducted from home. Each individual person is in their home. So yeah, Renee, I'm not a fan. But there's Send Jim, and then I'm hoping this won't be too long, right? We're looking at maybe a month, maybe. So we'll turn it back on as soon as we can. I promise. I need that revenue.
Joe, do you just want to mention, because I feel like there's some confusion here, Fill My Schedule is not subcontracted. It's just right downstairs. So I just want to kind of.
Yeah, we don't. We do that ourselves. No one will take it. That boutique product that we built, that high-end card in an envelope with a stamp, print companies don't want to touch it for what we can produce it for. Believe me, I've tried. Because I have a couple friends that are local. He owns the biggest print operation in Whatcom County. And, he came by and was like, you guys are killing it. Keep doing it. I can't beat this. So, and we've checked with a couple other companies too, and they just don't want it. Like Send Jim, they've got great stuff. You can send freaking candy and gift cards and postcards, right? You can do postcards, are cheaper than what you're paying for Fill My Schedule cards, but they can't do the tech card quality. Not even send out cards. It's that cheap, flimsy kind of, it's not even a greeting card level quality. So those are still available to you guys. It would take some effort on your end, obviously, to get those set up pushing, but we will turn it back on, guaranteed. And it'll be better than ever with custom fronts. Let's see. We schedule weekly, but bill monthly. How can we bill? Oh, through the schedule. You won't bill through the schedule. You'll bill through the account, through contracts. I can show you that real quick. Contracts allow you to create, so recurrences, which most people are familiar with, you're going to be scheduling this job every other month, right? So recurrences can be tied to contracts. So if you, and we can go check that out later, but this is the contract. So you set up a recurrence pattern and the amount, and then you're able to run billing for them on the frequency that you want, and yet tie it to, if I go to reminder list. No, I need current appointments. So here, you can see here, contract. So there's a contract you can create. Actually, you can do it straight from the recurrence. So this way you can set up a recurrence for quarterly cleaning and then a contract which just bills monthly, right? You can do that. You can also set up multiple recurring jobs that all point to the same contract. So you have to be on the same client to do that, but it does allow you to set it up that way. All right, guys. I think we're winding down. Attendees are starting to drop off down to 150. Oh, that's still a lot. That's freaking huge. I'm willing to sit here all day.
Ask about QuickBooks, I think more from just like a prospect point of view. Do you just want to really touch on QuickBooks? We didn't make any changes in this particular update. I'll just really briefly go through that, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, QuickBooks integration, both QuickBooks and desktop, which almost none of our competitors do, the desktop portion, but it's still the better product, if you ask me. But for small business, like super micro businesses, I think QuickBooks Online is fine. But we do synchronize with both or integrate with both. So when you create payments and invoices within ServiceMonster, they ship over to QuickBooks, push a couple buttons after you get set up, and it just sucks all the data over for you. And if you are new or have not yet signed up for ServiceMonster, and you're curious about getting your data in, we have an import process from QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online, which is your best bet for pulling in all of your customer information and their history. You won't get jobs right on the schedule because QuickBooks doesn't have a schedule. And you won't get like notes and that kind of thing, but you'll get all the invoices, you'll get all the payments, you'll get all of your price lists, tax rates, and all that kind of stuff. So it makes it pretty seamless. Accepting checks from the payment link. Edgar, you had to go messing things up. We currently don't do it. Some of the providers would allow for ACH check online. We haven't tied it in yet just because it's such a small request and such a small portion. The ROI wasn't really there for us, but it's starting to become more of a request. And you're right, as far as now people are paying for things online via these links, maybe giving them a check option wouldn't be a bad idea. And of course, you're going to save on your percentage of your transactions. Although virtual checks are more dangerous. I don't know if you're aware of all the pitfalls. We as a company who rely on recurring revenue, when we take digital checks, which we don't do, when we used to, it really leaves you open to exposure. They can fraud you pretty easy because the check could approve, but then it won't clear 3 days later and you won't know. And you've already given them the services and everything's already been good. So it's just something to watch for. I don't know if they're going to make that better or if other companies provide extra protection, but it's something that you want to keep in mind, taking checks over the airwaves, over the digital lines.
There has been off and on a little bit about the monthly calendar view. And so we're not going to set any dates or anything, but it is on the current roadmap. We are doing some additional schedule improvements. So I've said it a couple times, but definitely stay tuned. The schedule is not, done.
Oh gosh, no. Yeah, I would say the two biggest larger features that are on the docket that we really want to do because it immediately helps you guys. The monthly view is something that you have been coming to us saying we need this, and I've got prospects who are like, I can't come over unless I got a monthly view. Fair enough. There you go. So we've made that a priority, and then the SMS texting, I think, is a priority too, because you've got some groups touting how they're getting jobs from it. Now, I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know if it's a great business practice, but as long as you're using your own SMS pipeline and not mine, I don't care. We'll give it to you because people are landing jobs from it, and some clients seem to really like it. So,
yeah, I think there's a few comments about just kind of having these more often, which we've talked about kind of on a quarterly basis or so on, just kind of getting in touch with all of you. But if any of you aren't aware, we do a podcast. It's typically Joe and I, but we also have other internal staff on it, and we've had a couple of guest speakers at a few times too. But if you guys kind of just want to be in the know of kind of what's going on, we did have a slight delay with everything kind of going on with the coronavirus, but I'll turn my camera back on here. You guys get used to kind of the home video kind of podcast version of this, unless we get some green screen, we can pretend like we're on a beach or something. So
yeah, I'm gonna right now the best way to see that is go to my chat here, is on as I know about our YouTube channel. You should probably go there. We do lots of content, great content there. And yeah, we're going to be bringing back the podcast, and it'll probably be in a format very similar to what you're seeing now, is a couple goofballs at home doing, but that's like what everybody's doing, right? I mean, you've seen all the late night shows and all the, all that stuff. Like many of those people are just in their apartments in New York and LA. Thanks, Todd. Hey, appreciate the sentiment.
If we get to 300 viewers on the next podcast, I'll wear the Halo helm the whole time.
Oh, we got close. We got close today.
Yeah.
We did. All right. Sorry about the flub up earlier. If you were disgruntled and all mad at us for those 20 minutes, sorry. The intent was, we had to do it during work hours, but if it was smooth, then no one would have really cared that much, but it wasn't smooth. So, but we'll make it smooth.
Did anyone get a chance to watch any of the training videos? The one with Joe kind of showing the system, or any of the others? Anyone who did get a chance?
Hi, Jessica. See you, Dion.
Have a good night, guys, as you're leaving.
Audrey, yeah. Thank you, Charles.
Yes, On Track will release at the same time for Kim Dry and Enhance.
Yes. Well, now they're going to start picking your room apart, Adam.
Oh, yeah. So a little bit of a nerd stuff. That's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles over there. Kind of a cool little backdrop. And then if anyone's played Metal Gear Solid, it's a PlayStation series. It's just an X-ray. It's kind of hard to see, but it's an X-ray image of the Ninja. Do I have a train set? I do not have a train set. I don't know what that is.
Thompson, I don't know what you're talking about. V4? He says, I might be using V4. I can't imagine that I'd be able to switch back if I got complicated. He did watch a couple videos, but I don't know what he means by that. Yeah, I know. FMS is huge. Tell me about it. You guys are disappointed by one. I'm disappointed by all of you. Not you, as in I'm disappointed in you, but the numbers, right? You're disappointed that you can't send out your cards to your clients. I'm disappointed I can't send out cards to all of your clients. It's 50 to 80,000 cards a month. So I feel it.
Absolutely. We're definitely looking forward to the release too, guys. Believe me, when the release is out, I'll finally have a good night rest.
Night, Kate. Tuesday, let's go. Yeah. Totally. Like more info on credit card processing. Make that real simple. We've got a couple options because we don't step in the middle and take any money like a lot of SaaS companies do. This is why the consolidation, if VC companies buy SaaS companies, this is why. They want to have that credit card processing throughput. So they won't offer you any choices. You'll get their process, which the rate might not be horrible. So even with them skimming off the top a little bit, they might be able to give you a halfway decent rate because they get the volume. But they generate $12,000 per million to process for doing zero, goose egg, nothing. It's free money. And so the VCs are all over gobbling up SaaS companies who have, like ServiceMonster. In 2018, we had $500 million of invoices processed. So they see that and they lick their chops. They start offering us money. It's not the money that we know we can do. So I'm not really interested. And plus, we built an amazing team here. I really want to see how far we can take this thing. But to answer your question, we give you authorize.net as a gateway, which gives you access to thousands of merchants, most likely your bank as well. And if you're in a credit union, they really normally provide pretty decent interest rates and a quick turnaround, less than 24 hours, and 2.2 is what we're getting, although we do have a decent amount of volume, right? So, and then we also do Stripe. So you can hook up with Stripe an account directly and then connect that in ServiceMonster. So both of those, authorize.net to thousands of traditional merchant services, or your more modern right now with Stripe. We are looking at adding integration for Square and things like PayPal payments and that kind of stuff, right? So we want to open up that integration. We built the tech to make it really flexible. So the ServiceMonster doesn't care what the service is that we're processing. It looks the same to it in all cases. So it makes it good. Square, yep. Square's a credit card processing service, but we'll get there.
This is a really interesting question, Joe. Can you recommend a good business book for us to read while we're in quarantine?
I'll do better than that. How about this? ServiceMonster. I'll point you to a video I did a while ago on the Ask ServiceMonster show where I gave 10 book recommendations. And it's still highly relevant. Nothing new has come out that I'm aware of that's like broken the code. Let's see. Here. You guys should all watch that webinar, and then whatever of those 10 books flight your fancy, go get them. That's if you go through that list, that's some serious learning there, especially the last one, my favorite, Art of War by Sun Tzu. That you can consume that for years.
How do we get the authorize.net info from you? I'll have someone reach out, Lori, from the support team.
You can also go log into ServiceMonster, go to the marketplace. It's in there. So it's in the marketplace. I know, Todd, the mail outs. As soon as we can get those getting going, we'll be back.
Authorize.net's a little bit interesting because it's both a gateway and a actual processor. So there's a lot of hoops you might have to jump through if you work through your bank directly or something like that. There's actually, I think, a blog post that we have on that. Michael, are you still around? Can you link that blog post?
Sorry, which blog post?
I think he meant sorry because he wasn't listening to us, Joe.
I was trying to respond to someone's question, so I was not totally listening.
Adam,
sorry.
He was working, Adam.
The author,
blog post?
The gateway versus.
Yeah, Todd.
Okay,
That blog post about credit card,
okay.
under all the things you need to know about credit card processing.
Okay.
Yes, Whale Vomit is great. I actually talk about the pumpkin plan, and in that recommendation list, I didn't want to include the same author twice. I talk about my reasoning about why I pick certain books, but most of those authors are solid. Any plans for adding the capability to create multiple bundle packages on an estimate? 100% yes. I want you guys to be able to send 3 packages for approval to a client. Like, I know the game. I know the score. I know that's the one thing that we have left to really conquer before we can just completely dominate. Monthly view and the packages. Once we get those two hooked, like, window cleaning and pressure washing are ours.
I mentioned this in chat earlier, Joe, but there was a small little change to the order approval that I think everyone here will like. We did add the viewed status. So
woo! We didn't talk about that. So if you're using order approval and they click on the link and then they walk away, it'll be viewed. Yep. You got them. Then you can call them up and be like, what the hell, dude? Saw that you saw it. How come you didn't decline it at least so we can have a conversation?
For those that are here, maybe just jump to the order list really quick and just show there's a whole section that's about the approval. So,
so right here, approval. You can see pending approval, unscheduled order approvals, approved orders, and declined orders.
So basically just give you guys some quick actionable items all related on that. So
very good. Let's see. Oh, there's more. Thank you for Tana. Very good, Miss Miller. And Kimberly, any updates to reports? I don't think Brenda did any report updates, right? Maybe a bug fix here and there. I don't think there's new reports, though. Not currently. Great session. Thank you, Caesar. Good night, Isaac.
Yeah, Kimberly, we didn't want to limit it to estimates only, but that is going to be the primary use, is to be sending this with estimates, but you can send it with any order type. So
yes, packages, being a better website schedule too. Look, our scheduling integration for self scheduling isn't bad, and it's not great because it doesn't include the order component, but there are other tools out there if you want to pay for them. Fiddlebug, people seem to like it. He charges a lot, and it does create an order. I think Responsibid at this point now is, beating them in that front. They have a whole automated sales process. So if you're looking for that kind of nurturing the lead digitally and then getting them scheduled and booked, like Responsibid's one you want to look at. Nice Job's got some chops in this arena too. And both of those products integrate directly with ServiceMonster. So how far will we go down the rabbit hole of getting tools for your website? I think we've got a couple good base ones right now, and you want to go more powerful, then it's just every company's going to want to be a little bit unique, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So Zapier, Web API, the tools we already have, integrations with Nice Job, Customer Lobby, Responsibid, and so forth. Fiddlebug, that's just 4 off the top of my head. They make that all really simple for you. Is what approvals for estimates, Kimberly? Is that what you're asking? You can set, yes. So you do an estimate, you send an estimate to be approved by the client via email. They can go check it out, and they say, yes, I like it. They approve it, and it shows, you get notified, shows up in your bucket. So then the estimate is ready to rock and roll. Whoa, there's still a lot more. Okay. Say about emails, a show open. No, we don't. We're not tracking emails right now, Jason. Not yet. Coming. I see Adam just catching up with everybody. Dashboard numbers show the appointments has to be helpful to see the lead estimate. Oh, true. Income by service type. There are reports for that. Mm-hmm. Oh, and talking with Responsibid now. Good. Looks awesome. Great job. Thank you.
Do you want to handle the GPS question here, or do you want me to?
Go for it.
So we initially had a more robust GPS in the technician app, and we got shut down. But Apple wouldn't approve it. There are certain things that are limited on GPS, especially on personal devices, which for the technicians, there might be. So yes, we are actively looking for ways to improve the GPS process, whether that's integration or so on. We don't have a direct timetable, but it is one of the top mobile priorities as far as that goes with what we are able to do based on that. So.
The other thing I want to point out on mobile, just because it might be the elephant in the room, some of you guys won't even know or won't even care, but the ones that do are really pissed, and I agree with you, which is the dang image sort when you're trying to upload images. This has been a bane, like a massive problem inside the company, because it should be a super simple dead dumb thing. And I'm really pissed it's not. But we picked a library to allow us to manage the image and work with the device. And that library had a bug in it with the version of the framework we were using. And we have to upgrade our framework before we can get the patch, which fixes the problem into the library that we chose. All in all, it's not a huge deal, but with one part-time mobile dev and my son, he hasn't been able to jump on that. We've been using him for 6.5. But now that that this is coming out, I'm going to have him focus on mobile for a minute. And we're going to upgrade to the proper platform so the stupid library can do what it needs to do, and we can get that sort thing. It seems so simple. And when you click on it and you got to scroll through everything, I get it. And you're like, what the hell? Why couldn't they just go the other way? But man, we just can't right this second. It sucks. So.
Yeah, and if anyone doesn't know what he's talking about, it's because you're probably on Android. Yay, Android. No, it's an iOS specific bug. So if you're on Apple, then that's, yeah.
If you're an Apple, you take a lot of pictures out in the field and you have lots of pictures on your device, and you're really pissed at us a couple times a day. Any proposed date for film? How am I supposed to ask the governor? Like, ask coronavirus. As soon as I can put someone safely back into that building, I will. 100%. 100%. Sucks for everybody, Matt. Totally. But blame the virus, guys. Do what you need to do. This is serious. Last time I checked this morning, we're at 66,000 cases, just crossed 1,000 deaths, and our hospitals are starting to strain. So we haven't even seen it yet. But let's not do that here. And we successfully went an hour and a half without talking about coronavirus. But yeah, we might do more of these, guys. Regularly. What about offline syncing? It's in the framework, but it's going to be a big project. So not doing mobile offline anytime in the near future.
We actually had a podcast where we dove into that. I'll see if I can find that, send it to you, Jason.
Yep. Yeah, no, sounds super simple, doesn't it? I've been doing data synchronization at the corporate level. Oh, crap. 20 years. Man, I'm old. Is sales tax included in the revenue? Yes, it is, because that's what QuickBooks does, because I don't have to explain why the numbers are different. It's accrual based, and it's just gross revenue. See ya, Corey, Charles. They're dropping off. We're down to 68. No days off, Adam. Thanks, Jay. It's good to connect to you guys too. I really I enjoy these a lot. I forget about how fun they are. We put our heads down so fast and just get back to work. But with all this craziness and now our virtualization, we should maybe do this on a more regular basis. I don't know if we'll pull 250 people every time, but hey, talk us up too. I should have done this when there's 200 people there. The fact that you guys should each bring a friend. That should be like price to entry next time. Bring a prospect. We had 8 prospects.
Do it monthly? I don't know.
We had 7. Shit, we can barely get the podcast done monthly. Although these are super easy if we do them monthly because they're just bullshit sessions. Kind of like it's just a live podcast. What? Hey, ooh, there's an idea. What if we did the podcast live?
Well, I was going to talk to you about that offline, but some ideas I've been kicking around.
Yeah, that might be interesting because then they can come watch it too.
I'm sure they're going to hold us to that now. So,
not necessarily, but we do have the refer a friend. Yeah, it's in there. The refer a friend button. How many lines would be available? In a line items description, how many lines are available in 6.5?
Oh, you know what? We actually just showed this. It grows right there on the page now.
It does. In a couple places. No, I just pop in. Oh, wait. What is it? Lipsum. I don't remember. We can just go my long item list. We grow. What's the limit now, though? Oh, there it is. So wherever many characters that is. So if I open up Word.
Yeah, the description grows right there on the page. You no longer have to have that.
1,024 characters.
Also, if you guys use QuickBooks, because this is kind of tied into the name itself, there is a limit as far as the QuickBooks integration. It's just how they have it set up.
Is it less than we do?
Yeah, the name itself is something like 64 characters.
Oh, the name. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Joe, we should just played the Refer a Friend training link while everyone was on here. You just played that.
Yeah, get free ServiceMonster. Get free ServiceMonster.
I will note that for the team, Mike. See if we can make that larger without it.
10.4, it can be. I do worry about integration systems, though, erroring out because we're trying to shove, square pegs in round holes. But we can certainly take a look at it again. Maybe we can, for order stuff, I always tell the engineers, what does QuickBooks do? So when they come to me with a tracker, how long should we make it? I'm going to say, what does QuickBooks do? And we'll see. They may have quite a bit of a longer field.
Thanks, Todd.
All right. We have a whole bunch of people still without names. Did you see that? I mean, not the same as last time, but
it's a lot better than it was. It's something to do because of the quick import export, something with the Excel file. Don't know.
It says there's 45 people, but I can only see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, mobile maybe? Maybe there's mobile people.
It also, I think, snapshots so that when people come in, there's definitely a few things they should probably improve from a.
Yeah, big marker. I mean, I like them because they're, rough and tumble like us, hungry SaaS company. But that link thing scared the shit out of me, though. I'm glad everyone was able to come over.
Yeah,
They didn't notice. I'm telling you now, they went to their email and they went, oh, I got a new email. I'll click on this one. These guys didn't even know anything happened.
We're going to put that whole 45-minute period.
See you, Thompson.
We're going to close that box, Joe, and we're going to bury that box very deep so we never have to think about that ever again. Thanks,
Night, Diego. Night, Christine. No more questions, huh? Oh, looks like, there's some. Oh, with no name. No name. Is Fill My Schedule available for Canada? No, it used to be. Then you guys made postage a buck, and that shit went whoop, and it was gone. And so we don't cross the border anymore. So we stopped that to Nate Roberts' horrific realization about 2 years, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that.
Most of the Q&A stuff has been answered, though, just,
Yep. Any plans for adding the ability to create multiple bundled packages? We did that. Is it possible to add email tracking and estimate? Yes, that one's available. Where you been? Yes, you can see now in your order approvals when they open it and they look at it, even if they don't do anything. No name, because there's no name there. You must be from Canada, though. No name. Maybe that's what the issue is. If you're from Canada and you're still on, do claps, do A's, because maybe all the people who are in Canada don't have a name. I think there's only 2 now. Oh. Michael, we didn't give anything away this time.
Nope, we did not.
We still had more people than last time.
Yeah, we did. Quite a few more.
Yep. All right, guys, I think we're going to shut it down. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, we will do more of these. And 6.5 is on the way. So love to get your feedback, especially around those lessons. And as always, we will continue to make ServiceMonster a better product for you. So I am going to shut things down now, guys. You have a great evening, huh?
Thanks so much, guys, everyone, truly. Joe jumped out, but
Yep. Thank you, everyone. This is the voice of Michael, just in the background.